Yo, what is up, guys? We're gonna react to this video, the 7 levels of Gen Z addictions. And I've already watched this video, but I kind of want to like give my take on it while watching it. So, uh, we'll get started.
With the downside of apps, there's 7 levels of Gen Z addictions. Let's go.
Avocados from Mexico.
Level 1 is obviously video games. This addiction was probably introduced to you at a very young age and was a great way for some affordable babysitting for parents.
So, when he starts talking about how it's affordable babysitting for parents, it's like part of that is true, but it's you got to think about how sad that is at the same time. Where like you let kids live on an iPad. You let them just play games all the time, not really monitoring them. And eventually that leads on to the other addictions that are going to be like in this video.
With the downside of absolutely frying your brains and leading you to playing some degenerate games down the line.
Yep.
Now, it's different today where kids are instantly hooked up to a tablet straight out of the womb and are addicted to Baby Shark and Tung Tung Tung. But back in the day, because Gen Z is starting to become the old generation, for most Gen Z kids, video games, specifically consoles and handhelds, were our first addictions besides milk from your mother's teats. Personally, I had a Wiggles addiction, fruit salad.
For me, like my video game quote unquote addiction started when I was like what? Like 7 or 8? Like my parents bought me a DS with like Pokemon and like Mario Kart. And those really were the good days. I enjoyed playing that shit a lot, but I would always sneak my DS into my room and try to like grind out Pokemon just a little bit longer, staying up until like 11. It's been like that since. And now, I mean, I don't even enjoy video games like that really anymore. Like I took it so far back then because I only knew video games as like a way to have fun. And when things got bad for me or like I didn't or things got uncomfortable, I would just hide behind the video games again and again. Traumatic shit happened to me in middle school. I focused all my energy into Counter-Strike, and I gave so many years up of my life to just play Counter-Strike and just compete competitively. And it's like a balance of good and bad. Like the competitiveness was good, the teammates learning how to work with people was good, learning life skills was good, but the manner of which it came from was very toxic. It came from a place of being unsatisfied with life, being sad about everything. And I think that's where like it was bad for me. So,
Salad, yummy, yummy. But video games was a close second. I started playing video games at the age of 4. Yummy, yum, your mother's teats. Personally, I had a Wiggles addiction, fruit salad, yummy, yummy. But video games was a close
I think he's
second.
talking about
I started
pussy,
playing
but
video games at the age of 4, and to be quite frank with you, I lacked adult supervision my formative years, aka was poor and way too many mouths needed to be fed. So I was playing games like COD super young for like 14 hours a day. Watching the opening World at War scene has led to me consuming some questionable content, to say the least, growing up. Now, the consoles Gen Z grew up with included things like the TRES, the Wii, the 360, DS's, and if you were late Gen Z, newer generation PlayStation and Xboxes, and the Switch. I grew up with a GameCube, which should tell you my financial situation growing up and what
bro,
the Gen Z
GameCubes
scale
are
I fall
goaded.
under. Ultimately, I have this addiction at level 1 because I don't think it's a really bad addiction, but like most things, too much of it obviously can be bad. And unlike most addictions, not playing video games can be something you randomly stop doing because you lose interest. I have stopped playing video games because I've lost interest.
See, that's like the same with me. Like eventually you grow out of it, I feel, unless like you're playing gotcha games like hentai games and stuff, but The longest I ever went was with Counter Strike. I played around 10 years of Counter Strike, but I took breaks in between and I didn't play for some time, and then now it's like overall I'm just kind of bored with gaming. I'm very I'm not interested in it. I'll still watch like Counter Strike, but only like big events, like only stage events really. Like I'm not interested in following. I'll follow a scoreboard, but that's not really like watching the games.
Avocados from Mexico.
Level 2 would be the internet.
This one should be like a lot higher in my opinion. The internet's a very general thing. Like the internet could be like porn, could be like social media, could just be like Facebook, Instagram, could be or well, Instagram and Facebook are social media. So it should be social media, like porn, streaming. That's like those are like different categories. But the internet, if like the internet as a whole, it probably should be like on top, like close to the top. Maybe like drugs could be a little bit more up there, but let's see what he has to say.
Nowadays, internet and video games would be switched around, but at least for me, I didn't have access to the internet until my age reached the double digits. Now, a internet addiction, you could argue, should be at a higher level, especially because of social media and how damaging doom scrolling is and all the negative effects of it. But it's been pretty much normalized, and so I'm also going to normalize it because I'm not different. You could say millennials.
Bro, what kind of take is this? I'm gonna normalize it because I'm not different. Like, wait, what? What is he trying to say here? I mean, I don't know. I guess like for some people, it's a lot harder to like not use Instagram, not use TikTok, stay away from social media. I just I don't know. I like some real personal shit happened to me, and since then I kind of just like erased every social media I had. It was just it like the it happened like this. Like the traumatic thing happened, and then like a year down the line, I still had social media, but I think after that year down the line, where like I kind of just stopped talking to everybody, and I didn't really care, or like yeah, I didn't really care, and it kind of just felt like social media wasn't even real connections. So I just got rid of everything. I just it was easier to do that. Like I could see someone who has like a social life wouldn't want to get rid of Instagram or Snapchat or TikTok or any of that stuff. Like, well, okay, TikTok you don't have to use that. TikTok you don't have to use that. Instagram, yeah, I can see like deleting it could be weird because people might think like where'd this person go? And same with like Snapchat. I don't know. I I mean the thing is with like Instagram is that it shows off like the highlights of your life. Just you're not gonna post boring shit on Instagram. And Snapchat is an over glorified messenger app that just gamifies messaging, so it just makes it more fun. Uh, and TikTok is just like well, it's just you're just watching content. It's like shorter YouTube shorts basically. But when you really look at it, like you don't really need any of that stuff. Like I'm building my case for social media and why like you don't really need it. Because like with Instagram in particular, like you're living like a most people live a boring ass life and like maybe like 5 times out of the year they get to do something like really fun and noteworthy to share, you know. I'm just giving an example. And you just make I don't know, you just make a big deal out of things. You try to like live up to that. and you try to live up to other people who are hyping up their lives. It's all pretty vain, you know? And Snapchat, it's like my beef with Snapchat is that like it's just too I don't know, it's like a kid app. I feel like it's a kid app, you know? It's like you got Messenger, just message people. And then TikTok, no need for that. Everyone knows short form content's pretty bummy.
Millennials were the first ones to have this addiction, but it was perfected under Gen Z. I'm talking access to any and all sites you could easily be addicted to and spend your whole day on. If you're a real ball knower, Pop Tropica was that site back in the day. And before Discord was a thing, Skype was the site where you got groomed at. Of course, some unsavory sites or sites that were quite savory to the eye were visited, which leads me to level 3 of Gen Z addictions.
Avocados from Mexico.
Level 3, the corn addiction. Kind of like an internet addiction, you could make a strong argument that this should be much higher, but it's so normalized that I can't put it higher, and I currently have this one,
I
allegedly. So to make myself feel better,
see. I don't get his like whole thing. It's like he's trying to like do the collective level, like the collective thought of level, instead of like putting his own personal opinion on this. You know, I think porn addiction is it, like porn is pretty much one of the, like it's bad. Porn is bad. That's pretty much it. Like explaining it is a little redundant, but it harms your body image. Um, you're putting yourself in the cuck chair, in the e-cuck chair. What else? It's another industry where the top like 1%, 0.05% make the most money, make in ungodly amount of money. Um, and it's very much a malicious product, you know, like slowly being advertised to boys, making girls think that the only way they're ever going to see real money is if they sell their bodies. Overall, it's just a net negative to society. So,
about this addiction and to pretend it's not that big of a deal, it's going to be level 3. Now, the only way to truly have this addiction is through the internet and puberty, unless you were shooting blanks to magazines in elementary school. Of course, you could have just or internet and it changed my life, arguably for the worst. And this addiction through the internet
arguably for
and
the
it
worst. I think he's
changed
just
my
saying that
life,
for thematics,
web,
but
and shoot, social media. Since I'm for corn, but some people are so fine, which is 7, but I'm only human shopping. This addiction, you kind of need money for.
dude, somehow how shopping is above corn and the internet. Like this is when like I kind of stopped watching the video, you know.
Which requires a job. My bad. But this is a more modern Gen Z addiction. With the rise of online shopping, I've seen so many people of Gen Z with this addiction. According to AI, which we all know is always reliable, 35% of Gen Z has a shopping addiction, mainly stemming from impulse buying from social media. But buy anything you want from the internet. Imaging. To keep in mind, off Amazon like I was high school were borderline criminal. And it wasn't because I was flooding my school with my treatment. Stick with you for a long be pretty frugal, but a lot of people just don't, and this addiction can stick with you for a long either a mere DoorDash. No one talks any fast food
A DoorDash addiction. A lot of these could just be stemmed off the internet, you know. DoorDash addiction is not real. It's just you're lazy. That's it.
Now this addiction bad thing, $1,000 a month on DoorDash.
Lazy.
Meals is too time consuming for this addiction. In reality, human beings are gluttonous and each addicted to give you comfort.
Avocados from Mexico.
This one's
Level
pretty.
6 is sports betting.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
the rise
This
of
makes
sports
sense.
gambling, specifically online sports gambling, this addiction has gotten Gen Z men specifically in a chokehold. I feel like I've said chokehold a lot. The amount of delusion in this addiction is ridiculous. Just gambling in general. Everyone thinks they're so smart
I mean, if you look at any gambling papers, any stats on gambling, like people like Togi and Steve will do it. They show like what happens when you are a personality in gambling. You know, they show you they make gambling exciting. They play it up like it's a movie, like they're living like you okay, the reason why I think like Togi's whole transformation, like his changing himself arc is a sham and that he will likely go back to being a degenerate who goes to like Cabo and tries to fuck 18-year-olds is because and he'll still do drugs is because he still promotes gambling. Gambling still fuels his lifestyle. He has a Roobet deal, I'm pretty sure. Like if you go on his stream, he's always gambling on Roobet with like 50K. Like that doesn't come out of nowhere. That's coming from Roobet's pockets and they're probably paying him like hundreds of like probably like I shouldn't say hundreds of millions. Maybe they could honestly. They could definitely afford that, but I mean, they probably do honestly cuz he makes like some fire content. Like he does. He makes good content. He makes very exciting content. I just know that gambling is bad, but a lot of his audience probably doesn't have the same opinion that I do, you know. They they're like the classic bro where it's like, "Oh, we hit the gym, we hit the Nino, we hit the we fuck girls like, you know, kind of shit. Fucking girls going to the Nino, hitting the gym. Like, I don't know. It's just bro culture. And he's incentivized to just keep influencing degeneracy. You know, like he said he's like, I'm not doing drugs anymore. What else? Like reading the Bible. That's performative. That's hella performative. Um, and then the moment where I saw he was kind of real was when he like did his last Cabo trip, where he was like having a panic attack, seeing how degenerate he was acting. But during the Cabo trip, he did all of that. He did all that shit. He let himself be misled. And in the end, he still promotes gambling to the very end because he's paid by a betting company. Like that's the thing that guys don't understand is like they see the fun in gambling, they see how much fun is being had, but they don't see how the fun is being had. That's the problem with a lot of people where you see the way like a lifestyle is and you don't see how you got to that lifestyle. Like a lot of girls, they want to go to like Europe and just live out their European girl life, but they don't realize how much money goes into that, what it takes to get there, you know. And with guys, they see the hype of gambling, and they don't see that a lot of the guys that are promoting this gambling are people who are paid, and they can just afford these losses. Like you see how Togi and Steve will do it, just lose millions of dollars. Like the only way they're allowed to do that is because they have a sponsorship. That's it. That's the only fucking way. And they're like 20 something, 30 something year old. Steve will do it looks like a 30-year-old man. I'm pretty sure he is 30, but they still hype up the bro culture, you know? So, wheel keeps spinning.
And if the player they betted on could have gotten one more rebound, he would have won $100. Or bro, I only spent $50 because they gave me $200 to match the 200 put back in apps. They make money off of you. Sports betting will just lose you money, and the few people who do win, maybe you're one of the lucky ones watching this video, congrats. You're him or her, I guess. I understand sports betting can be fun as it gives you a reason to watch the games, more stakes. Shoot, I had a 5 month
If you don't enjoy watching the game without the money, you never enjoyed it to begin with.
stretch of sports betting, and even though I lost $700, it was fun. It got me into baseball, which for the longest time I didn't watch because I thought it was boring. Now I watch the sport because I used to sports bet. But overall, you probably shouldn't sports bet. Like with credit cards, most young people shouldn't have full access to a credit card because they would just spend money recklessly. Same thing for sports betting. Only people who can afford and have discipline should sport bet.
Avocados from Mexico.
Finally, level 7.
Dude, putting nicotine at the very top is just self-telling. Like, this dude, I know, just vapes like a motherfucker. Like, look, maybe that's just maybe that's just me, you know. When I self-tell on myself, I'm just like gambling, porn, and weed are the worst things ever. I am just self-telling on myself. I used to have like really bad, used to have a really bad problem with those. Like nicotine for me, I never had an issue with it really. Like I could stop fairly quickly, you know. Like the worst time I ever had quitting nicotine was when I was hooked on Zins, because Zins is like a different level of nicotine. But I mean, this guy's just self-telling on himself.
Nicotine. This really shouldn't have come as a shock since nicotine and Gen Z mix as well as Mexicans and Panda Express. It always surprises me at how many of Gen Z vape because I feel the number is much higher than reported online.
One
I
hundred
remember I was
percent,
working
yeah.
in the freezer at work with a few guys my age, and one of them pulled out a vape and asked if they wanted to hit. Out of the 5 guys in the cooler, all but me took a puff. Also, even if I did vape, I wouldn't be sharing with people because of the fear of contracting some unknown African STD, or maybe I would be so addicted that I wouldn't care. That's another thing about vaping is that if you're addicted, you're addicted. I'm sure you've seen the videos of people stealing people's vapes to get a reaction, and holy do they trip out. I'm talking if the weight of the world slipped from Atlas's hands and was about to hit someone's vape, they would catch it to save the vape. Vaping is just like any addiction, which it's hard to quit and has negative effects with it. Is it effects or effects? I don't even care. And I fear it may become more normalized. I remember years ago how
I guess he's not. I guess he's not addicted to nicotine. Okay, that's just strange. Like putting nicotine at the very top. That's just what I think. You know, usually you would put your own addictions at level 7, but I guess he just sees from other people that, and I do agree with him. Gen Z and vaping is just so like I don't not vaping, but just nicotine in general. Gen Z and nicotine is like hand in hand. Like that is a forever hand in hand relationship. Like it's rare to see someone not using nicotine as a young person. I feel.
anti-vape everyone is getting spammed with ads, and if
Uh, I mean to close out the video, pretty much like I think I don't know. I can't tell you what to use in your life. I'm not gonna sit here and like tell you you have to do this, but I'll grandstand. I'll fucking grandstand on my little fucking podium and say that like if you sports bet, if you smoke weed, if you watch porn, you're a goyim. You're gonna be stuck in the rat race, and you should just stop. It's like there's like no net negative from stopping all these habits. There's literally zero net negative. And the people that are promoting this to you, look at the people that are promoting this to you, the porn, the girls that are promoting it. Look at who is promoting to you. The people who gamble. Look at what they gain from that. And what is it with weed? I mean, weed is like a more spiritual level kind of like reckoning where you are actually destroying your spirituality when you smoke weed. Either it's from God or from whatever deity you believe in, or like non-deity. Like like smoking weed, like modern weed, is just straying you away from like who you are and what you really believe. But yeah, that's it.